to our community members because of technology and video lag, but I figured every time I miss a good birthday, and I'm sure I've missed a bunch of them, we'll just call this happy birthday to everybody that had a birthday in August, but specifically big shout out to Mike Simmons. Happy birthday.
Nice, Mark. Okay, this is a different genre for every birthday that there's been, I guess.
Well, you know, I try my best. And it just goes on and on and on. But, you know, I'd rather just talk to you guys, to be honest. So,
Great. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Hey, everybody. Welcome to TLDChat. It's Video Friday, and we have a fantastic guest here today. As we have been doing the last few days. Wow, we've been pretty much nailing it with the guests these days, which is pretty cool. Not that many open forums. I actually kind of miss the open forums. We're going to maybe have to start working harder at scheduling the open forums than anything else. But when we have good guests and people that want to hang out with us, I would much rather do that, actually. So it is all good. We're the Training, Learning, and Development Chat. We're here every morning, 8 a.m. Pacific time. Let me just say every day, 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern time, and 4 p.m. in the afternoon for our fabulous folks and friends across the pond. Good to see you, Marco, and everybody else from the UK who hangs out with us and abroad. We also have Canadian representation, I believe, so all is good. How is everybody today? Michael's got his coffee, so he's all good to go. I hope everybody else is good to go too. We're all repped out and ready to go. Good morning, Sam Rogers. How are you?
Morning. Well, welcome to Diane.
Thanks.
Thank you for being the honored guest of the day and coming back to play with us a bit.
I'm pleased to be here.
So, Brent and I were trying to remember, and we actually didn't. You came as a guest on L&D Talk, the kind of previous iteration of this show.
Yep.
Have you been a guest on the TLD chat yet?
Nope.
Great.
Yep.
Well then,
it's been
Diane,
almost exactly a year. It popped up in some stories on social media yesterday, and I was like, wow, that's funny. It was almost exactly a year. So. Yeah.
All right. So from now on, the 1st of September is always your day. It's Diane Senffner Day. Okay.
That's all right. I'll do it. It's good. It's all good.
Well,
actually, we would hope to have you on here more than once a year.
Okay. I'll do it.
But for folks who maybe didn't tune in last year, and it'd be great if you could introduce yourself a little bit.
Okay, my name is Diane Senffner, and I own a company called Cine Learning Productions. We've been in business 7 years now, which is really exciting for me to see a business, 7 years old. I never really dreamed 7 years ahead. So it's a constantly changing industry. We have to keep reinventing ourselves, which is interesting. And we specialize in story-based video and e-learning and all sorts of blended approaches. And we were story leaders a long time before a lot of these story usurpers. We were doing stories back when they wrote them on walls.
They were cave paintings.
Exactly. So,
come on, you don't look a day over 400 centuries. Come on.
So one of the exciting things that happened to us last year was last September, we won the first place 2016 TTV award for the nation's best vendor-produced video. So that was kind of
wow, that's awesome.
For our little company to have won that, the big enchilada was very exciting. And the whole award ceremony was really exciting. It was like the Academy Awards, and all I could get on my mouth when I won was, "This is awesome." So anyway, it was fun, and I'm really excited to be here to chat with you guys today.
Great. Well, it looks like Brent may be having some connection issues, but chatting about just that experience of winning that award, and congratulations again for that.
Thank you.
Tell us about what it was that was the winning project. What was the thing that got that status? Obviously, you've been working at this a long time. It wasn't an overnight success, but there was something that was unique about that set you apart.
Christy Tucker, who does work with us, she's a fine story-based learning instructional designer. She just posted the press release for it, which was kind of fun.
Great.
We actually won for a project that we did for the University of Phoenix College of Criminal Justice. And
cool.
They had a group of folks that were teaching sort of the PI track, the private investigator track. And there's a lot of things that private investigators need to do when they're re-examining a case that CSIs typically do when they go out into a crime scene initially. So they were trying to get PIs in the mindset that it's not like television. So we juxtaposed stories from a parody CSI team, what real CSIs do in real life. And of course, they're mostly scientists, and it's mostly a boring job.
Right.
They really wanted to get across to people before they even started into this that it's pretty much not what you see on TV. So so we made it funny and we made it serious, and it won the big award. So it was really a fun project to do. It was a fun project to write. I don't write most of our videos. I have a great scriptwriter who writes most of ours, but she had no association with the TV show CSI at all, or NCIS or any of those. So my filmmaker, Nathan Blackwell, and I wrote it. So it was kind of double sweet that it was a project that I helped write. And
yeah.
Is this a screenshot from the actual video?
That's a screenshot, yeah.
Nice. Wow, so you got actors and you really went the full 9 yards, huh?
We did. We always do. We produce little Hollywood productions. And this actually brings up an interesting point, because I've been doing a lot of talks around the country with webinars with ATD chapters and other folks. And something comes up in almost every talk that I give. They say, we'd love to do more video, but wow, you know, we can't do Hollywood quality stuff. And maybe it's a good idea, maybe it's a thought to talk about maybe when that's appropriate and when you don't need to worry about that. You know, for instance, when people call us to do something that we do, and we do it at a very low cost way. It's not Hollywood money that it costs to produce these. But when people call us, it's generally for something high profile. It's for something that is part of an onboarding program that is the first thing that employees see. Or it's something for a college that is really trying to up the ante with their curriculum, where they're integrating fine multimedia into it, and they want it to really look good and have a great story and be more natural. A lot of times we get requests from companies that are leadership companies, or they have some specialty, consultants that do change management, for instance, and something that's maybe a soft skill kind of video that demonstrates the kinds of conversations they should have, you know, that bad way, better way conversation juxtaposed. But those are the typical things that we get. And they want a product to take out to the marketplace that looks really fabulous and slick, rather than something they did with their iPhone in the bathroom. So, you know, there's times and places for doing something more, a better quality. We just had a big company here that in Phoenix that has across the country, and they needed to train 20,000 massage therapists on a new rollout. And they wanted something very nice, something really high quality, because they were going to unveil it at their big annual meeting. And those are the kinds of things when a higher quality production is necessary. If you're just doing something in-house and you're trying to get the same kind of point across, maybe it's a better way. There is that iPhone and the low-level equipment that you can get that doesn't cost a fortune, and you can do that. And let's be honest, we're used to YouTube quality videos. I always ask in my talks, I say, okay, let me answer that question for you. How many of you have learned something on YouTube recently? And they'll say, everybody raises their hand, of course. And I'll say, okay, how many of them were Hollywood quality? None.
Yeah, none.
So we're used to that. In being used to that, I think it's okay. Something you need to do internally, I don't know. It's, to me, if you've got somebody who can do it and can edit it, that's the biggest hurdle for some of these people. I'm like, get a millennial.
Yeah.
I don't know how to edit video on the fly. Seriously.
We've got a question here already right out the chute. I don't know if you saw it in the chat, but
no.
Quickly, do you guys shoot all of your stuff here in the Valley, or do you go outside of Arizona at all to do your production work, or how does that work?
Yes, and yes. We have a great film crew here in Arizona that travels, and we've done things in any number of states across the country. And then we also have a film crew in Los Angeles, and we've done some things with UCLA and USC. So we've done some things within the college system there that it's really necessary for us to have a presence in LA. Mm-hmm. It's just cheaper to do things here or in a lot of other states.
Pretty much anywhere else. Yeah.
Yeah, and with the exception of maybe New York City.
Right. Then you just go to Toronto.
Exactly. Yeah, or where I'm from in Cincinnati, they're getting a lot of movies that come in there now, that because a lot of the architecture in Cincinnati is it's very similar to New York. It's a very similar aged city, and but it's fun. Yeah, it's great to be able to travel with the crew when we have something like that. So yeah, we do video all over.
Cool. Good to know.
With the productions and stuff that you've been doing, could you say a little bit about how that process works? Like if someone does have a project that you think is a good fit, how do you have that conversation about something like budget, which was coming up a bit in the chat, or something like just determining what their goals are to know that you're going to be able to deliver on that?
One of the first things I do talk about is budget, because early on, I remember there was a guy who had a great startup company here in town, and he wanted us to do an educational video for schools for sustainability programs. And the guy had a great company, and we bought into it, and we came up with all kinds of great brainstorming for him, and I put together a proposal, and I gave him a really great price on it because I thought, the guy's a startup. We're gonna give him a killer product where he's gonna be able to take this out and sell it to every school. And he came back with something that he came back with a budget of $250. And he wanted 5 to 10 minutes of motion graphics and all sorts of other things. And you have to be realistic, and I know some people don't understand the price point. Our price point is a lot lower than you might get in an LA-based crew, or certainly a New York-based crew. But
it's somewhere above the neighborhood of $250, I'm guessing.
It is.
Good.
Yeah, I think it's interesting.
That's the big thing. And, we look at the scope, too, because, your video production costs are going to be dependent on how many days you're filming, how many locations there are, how many actors you have, and anything like that is going to be factor in to the final cost. And there's lots of little things, and I think we talked about this in L&D chat last year, all the different kind of line items there are in video budgets that are surprising to people.
Right.
Because you have to provide some semblance of craft services for the people that are working a 10-hour day. You have to. And I suggest this for anybody. And even if somebody's doing videos in-house, they can usually go to a cosmetology school and bring somebody in to do makeup.
Yeah.
I've seen more interviews where they were so unflattering to the people in the videos. And I thought, but it costs so little to bring somebody in to do just a basic makeup for the camera. And today's cameras are really unforgiving.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're in HD, the warts are there. So, you know, you want people to look great. And, you know, I think that's super important too. So, you know, there's lots of line items that a lot of people don't take into consideration. So,
yeah, I'm just posting a link in the chat to the interview that we did with you last year.
Yeah.
So that people can have that for the show notes and stuff. Don't go off and watch that now because we have Diane live.
Because we have you live, you can ask all the questions you want.
Yeah.
You know, Marco was asking in a comment what your thoughts are on 360 video.
You know, we really haven't delved into that yet because we haven't had a request for it yet.
Yeah.
We're a believer in doing what you do until somebody asks for it, and then you learn how to do it.
And then you figure it out. Yeah. I think a lot of people are taking that approach with a lot of new technology. Yeah, I just wanted to throw this up here just because I happened to meet this guy. This is Matthew Earl Jones. He's the half-brother of James Earl Jones. And he, back when I was a teacher, back in my day when I was a post-college grad needing to make a lot more money than my jobs were paying me, I was teaching classes at the Art Institute, and I had a chance to meet him, and he was just ramping up his Matthew Earl Jones Institute, and basically what he's been trying to do is basically boost the whole Arizona film and video production industry with a school and you know, equipment, and helping the people in Hollywood figure out that, hey, you know what, there's talent here that can actually produce videos. And so just kind of a shout out to Phoenix and the entrepreneurial spirit. Things are definitely growing around here, and there is a lot more happening than most people think. So and
what's really exciting is the fact that, and it's not that I promote the fact that we're not a big union town. I mean, I belong to an actors union, so I can't really say, you know, I'm anti-union. I'm not. But we do have lower production cost here as a result of that. Mm-hmm. And benefit by the fantastic, we don't just have a videographer who works for us. We have 2 actual filmmakers.
Yeah.
It's, you know, I mean, this is a different world, and we can do that here. Maybe not in LA, although my LA crew is crewed by a filmmaker. So I think that that's important too, when you get somebody who's used to telling stories on camera, you know, not somebody who's just pointing and shooting.
Yeah. Well, and remember, there are a lot of filmmakers out there who do the corporate gig just to make money and to survive, right? It's like one of the rock stars that, you know, pick up odd jobs or teach lessons, right, until they get that big record and that top 40 hit or whatever it is they're trying to do. You know, I think the same in the film industry, right? We had, oh, now I'm going to have a brain fart on names again, and it's going to kill me. Sam, who is, I want to say Mike.
Oh, yeah. Mike.
Video guy that went abroad, had his people take him using Facebook, have him, his Facebook friends sent him across the globe.
Yeah.
Chesworth, that's right. Whew, okay, thank you. Mike Chesworth, yeah. So he's a filmmaker by passion and by dream, but he does a corporate gig, you know, during the day, and does corporate video stuff. For a lot of different clients, but yeah, I mean, you know, he loves to do the filmmaking stuff. There's lots of people out there like that.
And I just produced a movie, so
awesome.
Coming soon to a theater near you.
All right, give us a URL. Come on, drop that in the chat. It is totally okay for you to self-promote here on TLDChat. We actually promote the promotion of you, so you drop that link down.
I produced a movie called The View from Here, and it premieres in Los Angeles in September 15th, I believe, and here in Phoenix, September 17th. So,
congrats.
And then it's going to Amazon.
And give us kind of the basic gist. What's the theme, or what are we talking about?
It's an interracial love story that is kind of a different take on it. It's a beautiful little story, and I was really happy to meet this indie writer, and he's done a lot of our Cine productions, which has been great because, you know, we meet so many great people in this business. And I worked with, we have actors that are moved out to LA, and they're now doing television shows, and it's so exciting to see the success of people that have worked with us, and this is one of those. And last year when he said, you know, I need a producer, I said, I'm in. And yeah, it's really a nice story, and I think it's really well done. So
awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to that. Hey, can we do like a TLDChat meetup at the premiere?
We could, I guess.
You haven't had so many of those offers just yet, I'm guessing, but September 17th, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. So
yeah, let's do it. So
anyway,
we need to rally more people anyways. So, all right. So let's geek out a little bit on video, unless you had something you wanted to go, a path you wanted to go down, Sam.
Yeah, just a short one, because there's one other kind of non sequitur question that I just kind of selfishly wanted to ask Diane about, which is about the voice work that you do and all the accents and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Because I saw a recent post of yours about going for more training in New York about.
I did. I just went to a master class for dialects in New York.
Oh wow.
I've been coaching dialects for a long time, for like 20 years. And I coach actors in how to talk funny. So yeah, and it's really interesting, and it's fun, and it's you know, I used to live in the UK. Hey, UK guys, I used to work in the UK, and I think that
you lost your accent.
Helped. I can bring it back if I want to.
Let's get Marco in here, and that'll trigger your accent.
Yeah, so that's what I do. Yeah, I do a lot of voice work. I do speech work. I help people to speak more effectively, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
My favorite voice is what I want to say Val Kilmer, but I'm not sure that's not the right guy. Doc Holliday.
That was Val Kilmer.
Was it Val? Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I love how he talks in Tombstone. It's like my favorite.
I should send you a link. There was a great link that somebody sent me a couple days ago. It's called The Making of Tombstone. Ooh. And it's like a 2-minute link. And it's interviews with all the actors in it. And it's crazy great. It's one of my favorite movies.
Mine too. And I actually met somebody the other day. I work with him. He's never seen it. Michael, I said I'm your Huckleberry in a chat we were having, and that stopped the conversation. And he was like, I had to Google that, and I'm like, what?
I have to admit I have never seen it either, but this seems to be like Arizona Day in every way, huh?
Oh yeah, well, I'm telling you, it's that good. It is that good.
Yeah.
And I found out, did you know, when I was in Montana this summer, I found out what I'm your Huckleberry means. Do you know what it means?
I don't, but even not having seen the movie, I know that it's a reference to the movie Tombstone.
It's huckles are the handles on a casket. So if somebody says, I'm your Huckleberry, that's a threat.
This makes Hanna-Barbera's cartoon Blue Dog a whole different thing.
A whole different thing.
Huckleberry hounds. That's actually huckleberries are actually a berry that grows on trees in places like Montana, or in bushes in places like Montana.
I think somebody said that like it was used in like the 30s or 40s as I'm the guy you're looking for.
Yeah, it's transformed from that, I bet. But the original meaning was, I'm going to be your pallbearer.
Nice, and that works out in this movie.
Doesn't that go perfectly? Yes, I'm your Huckleberry.
Yes,
it's awesome. He's just awesome.
Good question, Sam. So I wonder, we have a couple people actually that do voice work that show up in the chat every now and then that are part of the TLDC community. And again, me and my names, I can't remember everybody's names. I'm so sorry, but Oh, Mike Lentz, I believe, is one of them. And
we've had a couple voiceover folks come through.
Yeah, there's probably more than the two that I'm thinking of. But yeah, it's a popular gig right now. Lots and lots of voice work going on out there.
You know what? There's more than there ever has been before, because everybody needs videos narrated. Everybody needs long form narration for e-learning, and there's all sorts of character opportunities with gamification. It's incredible. I mean, I don't think there's ever been a time that's so it's kind of cool.
Well, maybe I can finally live my dream of being a cartoon character or a Muppet or something.
You should be doing it. You know what? I mean, you absolutely should be doing it. I've heard your voices. You can absolutely nail the voice work. You should do it by all means.
Totally.
Well, if you need someone to talk like Stephen Hawking and then sing, or sound like a Muppet baby or something, remember me, Diane.
Okay, I will, Sam.
The beatboxing Muppet, exactly.
Yeah, I can do that.
That's fascinating.
Yep. Mike's heard the work.
So maybe now's a good time for a mid-time break so that I don't have to do impressions, which are going to be coming unless we go someplace else really quick.
I think that's a great idea. Let's go ahead and you guys can chat in the chat with the people of the chat, I guess, while I do take a quick break here and tell everybody about, let's see if how fast I can get back to the slides I was on. I can't believe oh, that's right, because everything crashed. That's why it all went away. That's not a good thing. But anyways, hey, thanks everybody for hanging out and being a part of TLDC and TLDChat and the TLDC community, and for signing up to become a member. We've had a fantastic response to being a member of the community, and we really appreciate that. And for those of you that are thinking about it and not really too sure, maybe you're waiting till the end of the year where a little bit more budget frees up or whatnot. That's always a good thing to do as well. But jumping in and becoming a member is a fantastic way to get a little extra benefit from the TLDC community, and also give you a nice discount on TLDC 18 coming up January 29th and 30th in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona. And if you guys want to come out like 3 days beforehand or something, maybe we can do like a day tour down in the actual real tombstone, and we'll do an Old West reenactment or something. I don't know. We can figure something out, but that might be kind of fun. But anyways, you guys let me know, and I'll see. I was just thinking about that. I was down there last year with my daughter, and we had a good time. So lots of fun to be at in Phoenix. Lots of crazy things to do. It's not as redneck as everybody says it is. So it's a good time. You don't have to be scared. Not everybody's packing a 9mm, so it's all good. We're good people out here in Phoenix. So don't be afraid. It's funny. Anyways, sorry. Mild tangent, but anyways, yeah, TLDC.us is where you can find all the things you need to become a member, to hit up the events, and to connect with us, and to get the newsletter. So just in case you did not know of all of these things, that's the place to go find out. And of course, you can always hit myself up online, or Luis, or anybody that you see popping up here in the chat. Everybody that hangs out here, at least everyone on a regular basis. There's probably some new folks chilling out today, but if you see the regular faces, go ahead and just reach out to them and say, hey, what's up with that Brent guy? Why is he crazy enough to do this every single day at 8 a.m.? And they'll tell you, yeah, he's just crazy, and I'm okay with that. So it's all good. I love this industry, and I love you guys, and I love chatting about it every morning because it helps me start my day. So I must say there are a little bit of selfish intentions by hanging out and doing this, because this is what I love to do. It's what I have done for 20 plus years. And as frustrating as our industry can be at times, it is still filled with some of the greatest people that I have met. And so I would encourage all of you to hang out and get to know the people of TLDC. So I've had the beautiful opportunity. Of course, I knew Diane before I started doing this, but I only sort of knew Sam. Sam, how did we actually meet? Was it Ellen? It wasn't L&D Talk. It was before L&D Talk, right?
I think I reached out to you specifically about the Twitter feed, the stuff that you were doing, maybe on Periscope, actually.
Oh, that's when it all started. Yeah,
but I've known who you are for years, and we actually met, I think, right when you started at your previous employer, and I was a client of theirs.
That's right. Yes.
But
it took a whole year after that before you and I actually, or at least before I put two and two together and figured out, oh yeah, you're that guy that was at our event last year. Okay.
It was a long story arc of a lot of prequel material that hit the cutting room floor. Yeah.
It seems like you guys been working together forever.
Doesn't it feel that way?
It's been a year ago, so it's been like 18 months, I guess. We probably first talked really like 18 months ago. Right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Good times. You know, I'm telling you. See, this is what the internet gets you, and the great people that enjoy doing this kind of work. I love this kind of stuff. It's fantastic.
You know, it's really nice to get together with people that can, you can collaborate, commiserate. You know, talk about the industry, and somebody understands where you're going.
Right. Yeah. Because don't people often say, well, probably not for you, Diane. It's probably easier. But for me, it's still, what do you do again?
No, it's still the same thing for us. Oh. What do you do? If I say educational videos, they're getting a better idea, but then they don't really, because, oh, well, you know, educational videos, that's like, you know, when there's a presenter in the corner and there's a PowerPoint. Is that what you're talking about?
Or do you make those driver's ed videos? Is that what you do?
That's it. Exactly. And so it's just, it runs the gamut for us. We do all this crazy stuff. We do, you know, last year we flipped a car to do a video for an accident recreation. I mean, that was cool. That was cool. We got to work in a fire department training facility, and you know, I mean, it's always different.
Yeah.
But we're back doing criminology videos this month for another college. We got this niche now, I think.
That's fantastic, though. I mean, you know,
decision point videos for, you know, when there's burglaries and break-ins, and what should police officers do? And maybe there should be a lot more of those kind of videos. So, yeah, it's decision point videos for police recruits, and I think it's a really great idea.
Have you ever gotten to do add like really cool like pyrotechnics style special effects in your videos?
No. But when I was in Chicago way back in the 80s, I was a production assistant on The Untouchables, and I got to be part of a scene where they blew the door out of Union Station. And it was a one-time thing, you know, they had to do it right. And they had the stuntman there, and then they had the whole gunfight with these people going down the stairs, and they were blowing up squibs in these sailors, and it was all this blood was spattering everywhere. And that was kind of my only experience with pyrotechnics, but it was cool.
Awesome. So, hey, we do have a question in the chat, and so I'm going to go to that real quick. What are 3 of your must-have video tools?
Oh, geez. Well, must-have is a decent filmmaker, and must-have is someone to do sound. Because I can tell you, the best intentioned videos I've ever seen, and some of the best, what could have been a really high quality product, were ruined by sound, sound issues, or somebody didn't know what the heck to do filming it. you know, and the cuts back and forth were crazy and the perspectives were crazy. And then you're not really looking at the story that you're trying to tell. People are criticizing the video. And so you want to make sure that those things are out of the way. If I had to take a third thing and put it on the list, it's lighting. You know, lighting is super important for lots of things, you know, especially if it's something that's a demonstration video. And I know we see these really bad ones on YouTube all the time, but if somebody's doing those for a company and they're really trying to give their people in the field, for instance, a great visual of how to do something in the field, and it's not lit correctly and it's too dark. I've seen some of those too, and we've had to redo those for companies.
Yeah.
So lighting is super important, especially in those demonstration kind of videos where detail is important. So lighting is crucial.
Awesome. And just so people know, if we wanted to get down and deep into the tech stuff, Diane's probably not the person for that. She's the producer.
Yeah, I can't tell you what equipment to buy. That's my filmmaker, you know.
Yeah, she finds all the
everything in 4K, you know. Yeah, so
there you go. She finds all the cool people to do all of that kind of stuff. So that's
what producers do. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I just, you know,
you find people that make you look good.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. What? So you have all of those folks that can help out with that. Let's you know, we can geek out on other aspects of video production work, like just like that, the production, the producing of it, right? What are, you know, we could just quickly shift the question and say, you know, what, as a producer, what are the three, you know, the tools, maybe not necessarily tools, but skills that you have that make you a good producer?
First of all, you hire the right writers. Because I think somebody mentioned earlier, you can have a high production quality and can still be a really lousy video. I think somebody mentioned that in the chat.
Yeah, Anthony mentioned that. Super high quality and really bad story, or just not good content in general.
Yeah, and when I do my talks about storytelling, one of the things that I emphasize is basically that Ruth Colvin Clark conversational speak versus business speak. Nobody talks that way. Nobody's going to listen to it.
Right.
In her research, which I appreciate the fact that she's researched darn near everything in the industry. Through her research, we know that there's 50 to 75% more correct answers, assessments following something that was written in conversational narration or dialogue, that's huge. I mean, I always have a funny paragraph that I take from a really learning that we had that was just ridiculous, you know, talking about your robust thought processes, you know, and things like that. Talks that way. He talks that way. So what I tell people is, if you're going to do your own scripting, please read it aloud after it's done. And if it doesn't sound like somebody's talking, then throw it away. Refine it. I had a woman in Denver. I was doing a talk in Denver last week, and she said, in these videos that they were doing, the subject matter expert had proposed an explanation of the sales process. And she said, no, I want you to model the sales process. So she did, and she wrote out the script, and then this woman said, you know what? I don't think you really say this to clients. This isn't what you say. I want our training to reflect what you really say to clients. And so they did it, and it was a huge hit. I mean, this was a great success story in making sure the scripting was right. So it didn't seem like one of those corny videos that everybody hates.
Right. And that is a large part of what makes it corny, is when you're looking at something that maybe everyone approved, but no one, like there was no reality left in it. You know, it's so far from us that it's comical.
Yeah. And, you know, today, I think another thing that's really important is making sure that diversity is soundly discussed. If somebody's writing a character that is from a different ethnic background than they are, make sure you run it past people. We had a client a few years back. They had spent a lot of money on a video project to roll out a new product, and they worked with a professional video company. They wrote the scripts in-house, and it was really, really super fun. The story was super fun. But there was a character that was a particular ethnicity that wasn't represented in the scripting team, that wasn't vetted in their process of beta testing. And then when they rolled it out, they got all kinds of complaints, and they had to yank this really expensive project. Okay, it's really important. I mean, you know, there's the, you know, can't please all of the people all of the time. But for things like that, you need to be particularly sensitive. And I think that's something that isn't always considered. And especially if you're spending money and time on something, make sure that it's being represented correctly.
Great point.
That's a great point. I think that's one of those little things, right, that people tend to forget about. We talk a lot about the technology here, and we like to geek out on Video Fridays, but it's those little things like that that we do have to pay a lot more attention to, especially, I think, being instructional professionals, right, and doing the work, the type of video work that we do. I think it's even more crucial that we get it right than most other, you know, industries that produce video.
And another thing that our scriptwriter talks about to different clients and things is the fact that characters really should have some kind of quirk. You know, if you're writing characters, you know, there's nothing worse than two vanilla people playing out a scenario. So you could have a workplace conflict scenario and just have people yelling back and forth about something. But if you're giving it context, if you're giving it some kind of backstory, it seems more real to the viewer. And then you get out of that corn place. For instance, we have a conflict video that, I don't know, it's on our YouTube site. It's part of our Cine collection of leadership videos that we did a number of years ago. But I just put it for public consumption. It's had, I don't know, 20,000 hits. But I think the reason it resonates with people is because we take two people that have a real conflict in the workplace. They have this situation where they need to get something done, or they don't get a bonus. They get a bonus if they get it done on time. And both of them have priorities in their lives that they think take precedence over the other one, and the other one should be doing the work. So one of them is a millennial who plays hockey every night, and he thinks that's more important. And then he works with a new working mother that says, you know what, I'm sorry, you don't know what it's like to have a kid, and I'm sorry, I can't do this. And so, you know, it's a real workplace situation rather than, you know, oh, you know, I need to get this done. Well, I need to get this done. I mean, there's no context. There's nothing to follow. And I always use it when she talks to people about the story concept. She said, look at Breaking Bad. You know, she said, would you watch a show if there was just a chemistry teacher that cooked meth? You'd hate this guy, and the show would be over in a few weeks.
Yeah.
But they wrote a complicated character that had this fascinating backstory. He has a special needs kid, and he's dying of cancer, and it's ups the ante. And, you know, I mean, there's a complexity that you can build in that's not difficult to build in. You know, if you look around, you can model people that you work with, although not too closely. But, you know, there's characters out in the world that we can bring into scripts that make it much more interesting and fun to watch. Great. So scripting is huge. If I have to say one thing that makes a difference in what we do, it's scripting. You know, I mean, you can, like you said, you can wrap a pig in, you know, paper and you open it, it's still a pig, right? And that we don't want
to be sensitive to the animal kingdom, Diane.
Oh yeah, PETA's going to be after
rewrite
me now.
That script right there. I'm sorry.
I know.
No pigs were harmed in the making of TLDChat today.
That's right. That's right. I actually love pigs. I have a stuffed babe on my shelf back there.
Oh, it's funny. You know, I was thinking about that when you were talking about characters and just trying to tie it all back into the earlier conversation, maybe with Tombstone, right? If you, for those of you that haven't seen it, when you watch it, look at, so all of the characters, what makes it a great movie is that the characters are all exceptionally unique. Like every single character, even the bit character actors, are extremely different than every other character. And as I was thinking about it, I thought that's weird, because in reality, you know, is there really that much variety in all of the people in like a little tiny small town? No, most people kind of end up being similar and the same, but every single one of them, they did it just so well that they're all similar enough that you know that they're in the Old West, right? And they're in Arizona, and they're in that time, but they're all so incredibly unique that that it all just works. It was just exceptionally well done, and it makes a difference.
You know, I'm gonna send you guys all this making of Tombstone video, because it's fascinating. Kurt Russell talks about the fact that Wyatt Earp had never been portrayed that way, that Wyatt Earp had always been portrayed as one-dimensional, and they really imbued this script with a sense of this man is flawed. And that's one of the things our scriptwriter says: all characters are flawed. All of us are flawed. You don't want a vanilla character. And, you know, he said, you know, they always portray Wyatt Earp as just this stern lawman, and he doesn't have any faults or flaws. And Tombstone doesn't go there. It's, you know, here's a guy that's enticed by, you know, a woman that's, you know, a crazy actress. And, you know, his best friend is Doc Holliday. And they were talking about the fact that they wanted to portray the real relationship between Wyatt and Doc, which was this crazy, weird friendship that is not portrayed on film. And I just thought it was a really fascinating, the depth that they went into, even in characters like Curly Bill. Powers Booth, who just recently passed away, was talking about Curly Bill, and the depth that they went into to really research his character, and everything that he did in that movie has a basis in reality, which I thought was fascinating.
Yeah, it's cool. It's definitely a good movie to check out. So we should schedule a live TLD chat viewing of Tombstone, and we can all watch it. We can all just like hit play at the exact same time and just watch it together and do an extended 2-hour TLD chat, maybe some Friday night or something.
Well, we need to fill in that Saturday and Sunday kind of programming.
Oh, right? Yes, that's right. You could
just have viewing parties or something.
Oh yeah, Michael, great. Yeah, do Tombstone MST3K style. I think everybody's going to have to watch it all the way through at least once, if not twice, before we can pull that off effectively. Although my wife laughs at me a lot because I can quote most of the lines out of the movie.
Totally.
I've never seen it before, but my MST3K is quite practiced. I'll bet. I'm good for that.
I just love it.
What do we got for last questions, Sam? Have we
last questions?
Yeah, well, let's go to the chat. And no, I'm not going to answer what is MST3K. But there were some actual reasonable questions that happened just a while ago. Brent, maybe you could scroll around and find one in between all the Back to the Future references and things.
Oh, yeah, here we go. You go ahead.
I was just going to say, pushback RE Quirks. Kim at Cinecraft had asked about what kind of pushback you get from business stakeholders and characters about adding quirks. You know, it's
almost none ever.
Really?
Yeah, almost none ever. We show them the scripts, and they're usually, I mean, humor. There's a science to humor. We laugh at what we can relate to, and we laugh at the absurd. So if you're just keeping things in the realm of what we can relate to, there's always something fun. Like there's the delegation video that we have. The manager that is ineffectively delegating is constantly drinking energy drinks. And it's a fun little piece in this video that just makes him, and he wrote down talking points for his presentation on a napkin in the coffee shop line. So, I mean, little things like that make it real. It makes it funny because we all can relate to that, but it makes it real. And I've never had a client have a problem with that, ever.
That's great. So maybe that's encouragement for all of us who think that we need to make something a little more vanilla in order to get through approval processes or to make something that other people will sign off on, to maybe just be a little bolder about making it real and making something a little quirky and in a way that serves the story, in a way that that's not in the way of the learning, but that's helping things actually be received by people as a story and not just as here's your training now kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I think Chris Tucker said good stories are like real life, but more real, more quirks, more conflict, etc. So if you have to go there, if it has to be, I tell people to do something that's real too. If they're trying to do a good, bad scenario for something, let's go there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not avoid the elephant in the room. Why are we doing this training? Let's go to a real story. Names have been changed to protect the innocent, but if there's something that keeps happening time after time, let's go there because that's how people learn. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, keeping it real.
Keeping it real.
Yeah, and for the decision point kind of stuff like you're talking about, like those are the decisions that people are actually making, right? If
exactly.
They're not dealing with what the policy and procedure says. They're dealing with something that's never supposed to happen. Like right. in the law enforcement examples, like there's some.
And I'm so excited they're doing that. How exciting is that? That they're really taking their folks there with these real scenarios, and a lot of them are things that have happened in the news recently. Mm-hmm. And I think that's fantastic. And how cool that they're doing that in video.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, I think a lot of customers desperately want the video to stand the test of time, so they don't have to pay the money to have it done again. But I mean, everybody knows pretty much that that it's okay to be. I think, anyways, it's okay to be a little bit to take advantage of maybe what's going on in society or what's current. And what's relevant today to people, because let's just face it, after 6 months, most videos look dated anyways. So, you might as well.
We did one last year that was really funny. We did a series of leadership videos, and somebody's going to say someday, oh my gosh, that was so 2010s.
Yeah.
There were like 5 or 6 guys with man buns in the video. And I thought, it's going to be a day when people are going to look back and say, oh, those man buns. You remember?
Yeah, that was so 10-ish.
Yeah, that day may have come already. I don't know.
Yeah.
Depends on where you are.
So, styles change, lingo changes, like this can give away a period, like in, somebody has a video with a flip phone. Oh, I know when that was, so
right.
Yeah. You're never going to get really beyond that. But, those companies that think they're spending too much money to do this, but every few years need to contact us, because then it won't cost as much.
Yeah, it's interesting with the examples that you were using of the NSI or NCI or whatever the shows
NCIS,
are.
Something. Yeah.
They've got devices that are part of the storyline. You'll see like communications happening and things like that. To be able to have a device that people are communicating on absolutely dates the moment of the story.
Absolutely.
And even watching The Matrix or something like that, like they're not smartphones. They didn't have smartphones at the time. And 10 years from now, who's going to remember what a smartphone is?
Yeah.
Do you account for stuff like that in the stories that you're telling, or are you trying to make them current or timeless? Does it depend on the project?
Depends upon the project. I mean, it really just depends upon the project.
Yeah.
I keep as much technology out of there unless it's something that's critical to the story. So, I a couple years ago, I went to a training and they were using videos where all the monitors were still, 10 inches deep on the desks, things like that. And, that was that. I mean, that's when you really have to turn the corner, because that hasn't happened for an awful long time.
I think you still have one of those monitors.
You don't want to detract. You don't want to pull the viewer away into thinking, well, that's anachronistic. I'm in this century, and that's in last. And you don't want to pull them out of the story thinking about the hairstyles or the size of the glassware or the
the distractions that make it less the less focus. Well, you know what? We're creeping up on that 9 o'clock hour.
All right.
And so any parting words for us, Diane? I've got your website up there. People know how to get in touch with you. Anything else?
No, I'm just happy to be here today. I'm thrilled to join you guys as I was last time. And keep doing video, guys, because it is hot. People love it. People respond to it. And there's certainly a place for it today. I'm really excited.
Awesome.
Great. Well, if people wanted to get a hold of you to help with their video projects, and how would they do that?
I'm going to type in my email address here.
That's a great way.
learningproductions.com. There we go. So people can contact me there.
Great. And do you have any other award-winning things in the mix for this year's award ceremony or things?
No, you know what? Well, we have a number of public health projects that we submitted for the American Public Health Association Award. So
cool.
Anything for TTV this year, because I didn't have anything, honestly, that was as exciting as what we put together last year.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to let that sit there for a while,
That's good.
We won the big enchilada, so I'm still happy. We're still living off of that. But we are eagerly awaiting to see what happens with these public health projects that we did, because they were really pretty cool. So
great. Well, best of luck, and thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks for being on. And Sam,
I put the link to the Tombstone video in there, so scroll up.
Oh, cool.
All right. We'll get it in the show notes.
Tombstone video.
Yeah. And Sam, where can people find you?
Oh, Snap Synapse everywhere. I can put it in the chat too. Yes.
Yep, drop it in there. It'd be awesome. And everybody, thank you so much, Kara, for reminding me. Holiday on Monday. That means we go dark.
Oh yeah.
No TLDChat on Monday. So spread the word. We will not be here. It will be difficult for all of us, I know, but we'll be back bright and early Tuesday morning.
For our international contingent, we should probably make a better point of that, because they don't have that holiday.
Yes. So we'll post something up. Luis will probably have it inside a newsletter or something, just to let everybody know. And if you're not signed up for the newsletter, then you're not going to find out, and you might show up. So it's a really good reason to sign up for the newsletter, everybody. If you're not connected to TLDC.us, you need to be, to get all this fantastic information. So speaking of fantastic information, thank you so much, Diane, for dropping so much knowledge on everybody with video. Thank you so much. So great.
Thank you, Brent. Thank you, Sam.
Good to see you. You can hang out a little bit longer and chat with folks in the chat. I'm just going to close out your video.
Okay, perfect.
Sam, always good to see you, my friend. What are we doing next Friday?
Well, there was a confusion about that. I think that we still have.
Colin is still on. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
Yep.
So Colin.
Yep. That
Colin
was my bad. I didn't see it on the calendar, but we have Colin Steed from the UK, and Learning Now TV is going to be hanging out with us next Friday, right?
Yes, that's right.
Fantastic. So
yeah, and there's plenty of other great guests on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Colin on Friday, but not Monday.
Here we go. It's getting real here on TLDChat. So tell all your friends there's a lot of knowledge going on here. So if you want to do a little professional development, this is a great place to do it. At least I think so. So anyways, Sam, good to see you as always, and have a great holiday.
Yeah, thanks. Happy weekend to everyone. It sounds like we all have some movies that we've been tasked to watch. I'll get in as many as I can this weekend and report back next week.
There we go. That's perfect. Yeah, we'll put the list in the show notes, and everybody can follow along at home, and it'll all be good. All right, Sam. Well, I guess that does it. You're probably not set up to do a closing song for me today, are you? Or,
I have a microphone. See, I don't have the soundtracks of all of these movies in my head. I should come up with.
Yeah, you don't have to. I just thought I'd ask. You know, it's Friday. What the heck?
TLDC, wish you a good weekend. TLDC, come back next week, see some more. Thank you for watching TLDC. Thank you for being community. Thank you for chatting in the chat. Thank you. And now goodbye.
Oh, shoot. Adios, everybody. Have a great weekend.